Everyone, Fuad here. In this video we will talk about how important it is to choose a man who prays, who fasts, and who practices Islam fully. True religion isn't just rituals. It's reflected in your character, your trustworthiness, and how you treat others. If your faith doesn't reflect in your character, then something essential is missing there. Because at the end, religion is character, and character is religion. They can pray all night, they can fast all year. But what does that mean if they lack honesty, if they lack humility, if they lack mercy in their dealings with people? Aren't those things better indicators of their character? Sometimes you can find people who practice the religion, they pray, they fast, they do everything, but it's not reflected in their character. And for those kind of people, it's because the practices they do have become just a routine. They've been doing it for many years. And so it's not affecting their heart. It's not affecting how they deal with others. The practices, your prayers, your fasting, your charity, all those things are between you and God. No one can judge you except Him. As another human being, I would rather judge you based on how you treat others. People can't always fake consistent righteous behavior over time. We find people with long beards, people who are called sheikhs, giving regulations just to go along with the country's policies, just to go along with what the king of this country wants, or what the president of this country wants. And this sheikh, he has memorized the Quran, he has studied everything about the religion, but he has different motives. So a person who practices everything is not immune of being corrupted. We cannot misjudge people and have an idea about them solely based on their appearance or based on the places they frequent. I would know more about you hearing from the person you've worked with. I would know more about you observing how you treat your family, your friends, and even strangers. I would know more about you knowing who your friends are. There's a story of a prince who wanted to test a judge's fairness. And on his way, he met a homeless. And he wanted a ride, so he took him with him on his horse. And when he reached town, he told the homeless, "Okay, we are here, you can get down." He said, "Why should I get down if the horse is mine?" So the homeless is now claiming that the horse is his. They took them to the judge that the prince wanted to test. When they were brought to the judge had two more cases. One was between a carpenter and a butter seller. The carpenter accused the butter seller of stealing his money, while the butter seller claimed the opposite, that the carpenter had taken it. So when they both appeared before the judge, the carpenter said, "I came to buy some butter, and when I took out my purse, he snatched it from me." "That's a lie," the butter seller said. "He tried to grab my purse while I was making change." So after the judge listened carefully to both of them, he instructed them to leave the purse and return the next day. The following case was the prince, and he was disguised here as a merchant. He told the judge that this crippled man tried to steal my horse. I felt sorry for him and let him ride behind me, but when we reached town, he refused to get off, and he claimed that the horse is his. The crippled man said, "That's not true. The horse has always been mine. He's trying just to steal it from me." After listening carefully to both of them, the judge instructed both men to leave the horse in his care and return the next day. The next day, the court reconvened. And in the case of the carpenter and the butter seller, the judge ruled in favor of the carpenter. He gave him the purse with the money, and the butter seller was sentenced to 50 lashes. And for the second case, between the prince, the merchant, and the homeless man, the crippled man, the judge asked both men if they could identify the horse if it's among 20 others. And they both said yes. So the crippled man went and truly identified the horse among these 20 horses. And so did the prince. But then the judge ruled in favor of the prince, the merchant. The prince was in shock. How did he know? We both identified the horse. Surprised by the decision and how he knew that the horse is his, he went back to the judge the next day. When the judge saw him, he said, "What do you want? Aren't you happy with my decision?" Then the prince, the merchant, said, no, not at all. I just want to know, how did you know that the money was to the carpenter and not the butter seller? And how did you know that the horse was mine? Even though we both identified the horse among the 20 others. The judge said, for the carpenter and the butter seller, I placed the money overnight in water. See if any butter residue would float on the water. In the morning, I saw that there was none. And this proved to me that the money belongs to the carpenter, as the butter seller's greasy hands would have left some butter in it. So the carpenter was awarded his money, and the butter seller was punished for lying. But for your case with the horse and the other man, it was a bit trickier, because both of you identified the horse. When you both approached the horse affectionately stretched its neck towards you, and it did the opposite with the other man. A horse knows its true owner. By observing its reaction, I determined who it belongs to. Then the prince, astonished by the judge, he revealed himself to him. He told him that I am the prince, I'm not a merchant. And you can ask me whatever you want. I want to reward you. The judge, surprised that the prince was disguising himself as a merchant, he said, thank you, your highness, but I need no reward for doing my job with fairness and honesty. So you see, you test people by observing their action, by observing how they do their work, how they interact with people, how they conduct themselves. Actions truly speak louder than words. Someone's religious practices or how they present themselves don't always reflect their true nature. We can meet someone who seems pious, and we will feel that something is wrong about them. We cannot pinpoint it, but something doesn't feel right. That's our intuition telling us that something is off. And often, if you observe carefully, the behavior of this person will confirm it. So my advice is this: don't judge someone's goodness solely by how they look or the religious practices they display. Instead, let their actions speak for them. I'll leave you with this, and I will see you hopefully in the next video.